Affidavit A pertains a gherkin. I was cross-legged on the carpet, bordering on 5 years old, back when death was just a thing that grown-ups did, like holidays or weddings. We ate dinner in Sudoku silence, indulging in the council house delight of fish and chips wrapped in the metro, and the contents of my father's plate, those funny green things caked in batter, captivated me. "You always want what you can't have," he said. "You won't like it." I whined until he caved, and the ascetic fire sent me rolling to the floor, scratching at my tongue while everybody laughed. No one could blame them. My performance was forgotten by the morning, while my brother and I swung branches together in the garden. Almost 20 years apart, yet we still pretended these were swords, that we were gladiators. Affidavit B pertains a suicide. I was cross-legged on the carpet, bordering on 6 years old, with plastic bricks and model trains to habituate my isolation, the way you let a fish float in its bag for 15 minutes prior to release. The doorbell rang. My mother rose, her crossword left unfinished on the coffee table as she spoke quietly with strangers in lime green jackets. The world turned monochrome on her return. "Your brother always loved you," she said. "He loved all of us, but not himself, because he did drugs." Colin. Named so because the midwife asked what they were calling him. That's my mother's sense of humor. Affidavit C pertains a haunting. The lights came soon after the funeral, at the foot of summer's door. They'd manifest in droves as patchy frames of green and yellow, occasionally red, solid and opaque with clearly defined corners. They outran me when I chased them, slipped away when I tore through the living room, arms outstretched, shouting, "Look, it's Colin's ghost," as my mother wept into her hands. Ghosts exist when you're a child. They mean that no one ever has to leave if you don't want them to. I knew that he was dying when the lights turned seasonal. For a time, I could still summon them. It only took a moment's breakdown and they fed like butterflies on bitter honey, because a child's pain is easier to digest and a single tear is much more tragic than a torrent. I knew Colin was dead when the lights had bled me dry, when they refused to show up on demand, when I was 17.